profession is to be the screaming jerk on reality shows. The difference between Donald Trump and this guy is Donald Trump actually had a job before he was on a reality show. Another narcissist looking for attention. And are we really gonna risk repeating that mistake we made with Trump in LA of all places? Mayor should not be your first job.
So apparently Jimmy Kimmel has decided that the biggest threat facing Los Angeles right now isn't crime, homelessness, or the city falling apart. No, according to Kimmel, it's Spencer Pratt running for mayor. And Jessica Tarlov jumps on the bandwagon and tries to defend Kimmel's attempt to smear Pratt.
Jessica, why is Kimmel going after this guy? I mean, what's the deal? He lives in LA. He knows how nasty it is.
He actually, if you listen to the whole monologue about it, Kimmel admitted a lot of fault with LA that I have not heard him talk about before. Like, he recognized what was going on in the streets, looking around and thinking, like, we are not getting results out of this leadership. He said, you got to find somewhere else to look, which that would be the council member, I guess, who's also running, Rahman, who has the highest favorability of anyone. Spencer Pratt has the lowest by miles. Listen, I don't think he's getting 50%. On Tuesday, I think he will go to the runoff with Karen Bass, and then this will get extremely tribal because he can say, I don't do parties, but he's a Republican who's running as an independent. And LA is a left-leaning city. That's just the reality. They want better results, better solutions, and better leadership, but this is pushing them.
If people are so unhappy about crime, homelessness, high costs, and city leadership in Los Angeles, but they still choose to vote for more of the same leadership, then what exactly are they expecting to change? Because right now, Los Angeles has a real chance to try a different approach. But if they still decide they want more of the same policies, then that's their choice, and they deserve everything they vote for.
And his
but
media
it's like 15
tour,
years you've had Democrats run the town, and it's a disaster. Why would you not try something different?
Especially after the fire.
Right.
And he has every right to be upset about that. Kimmel was talking about that as well. But showing up, and I'm glad that you had him, and I'm glad he's going on Gutfeld, and it's good for ratings and for a Twitter candidacy to some degree. But trying to reach people who are voting in the LA mayor's race, but going on Fox and Friends and being adored by you, who does not have the same politics as me,
but you know, this is the tail end. I mean, he didn't start with us.
I'm just saying your final push is to get people who are right-leaning to back you. He's getting a ton of money from outside of the state that's pouring in. Yes, he has those celebrities, but a lot of his support is on your phone, and I'm curious to see how much of that manifests on the polls on Tuesday. It will be substantive, but I don't think like 50% seems like a total pipe dream.
Here's a great reason to do Fox, and it's not just to make Brian happy or to please Brian. Fox has the highest number of Democrats and independents that watch than anyone else. So you can be Karen Bass and keep talking to Morning Joe and do that over and over again and keep winning that primary. He knows that he's got a bigger canvas to paint on. And also, he answers every question with no talking points. He doesn't have any. It's super refreshing. So if you're an independent or a Democrat who's thinking, I can't take this anymore, and especially on the homelessness front, the woman who is running, Rahman, it reminds me of what happened in New York. Remember when de Blasio gave his wife $1 billion to deal with homelessness, and they had to admit that $898 million of it, they have no idea where it went because nothing ever happened. He's literally the guy who got sick of government because he's paying all his taxes, and he's seen government fail. So he decided to run. That's like the best reason to decide to run for office.
I wasn't.
Jessica, do you really want to dig yourself deeper?
No. Well, I am on a conservative-leaning program. I know how many Democrats and independents are watching. I just think that you need to make a closing argument to absolutely everybody, and that getting endorsements from Republicans doesn't necessarily help you with people you have to sway over.
Okay, so
it's not about
people that love LA.
It's about millions of people watching.
Yeah. But you want endorsements from people who love the town you're running to govern. So what is he going to say? I don't want your endorsement?
No.
You want to clean up LA too? Yeah, don't say that out loud.
That's not what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
But you have 5 more days. You have 5. This isn't the last day. So you have 5 more days to go to Los Angeles and work the streets.
And he did CNN.
Well, not work the streets.
Streets. You know what I mean. In a healthy way, in a political way.
Jessica just called 50% a pipe dream. But isn't the real pipe dream believing voters will keep electing the same leadership and somehow get different results? Just think about it. After years of complaining, why wouldn't voters at least consider an alternative? And why does does Jessica feel like Spencer Pratt being popular across the country is a bad thing? Isn't the whole point of running for office to get your message in front of as many people as possible?
Pratt's biggest sin is one of Trump's biggest sins and one of this show's biggest sins, which is the sin of noticing. You know, you're not supposed to notice the problems because that is a betrayal to the cause. You know, if you notice the corruption and the incompetence of Democrat leaders, you're helping Republicans. And that makes you a traitor. Every time you talk about crime or homelessness or the sheer chaos on the streets, you're pointing out the handiwork of the left and left-leaning cities. And a good sheep doesn't do that. You know, a good sheep just, you know, takes the mugging, lies back, and enjoys it. But if you dare step out of it, if you notice, remember, noticing things is racist. If you notice a pattern, like the crime is just here, the homelessness is here, that is racist. And it is funny listening to Kimmel talk about looking for attention. The guy that was on the Man Show, having women with large breasts jumping up and down on a trampoline. Celebrities calling other people narcissists when narcissism is an ingredient to becoming a celebrity is pretty funny. The difference with somebody like Pratt and Trump, who I would say have probably a healthy level of narcissism, is that your quest for success has to align with the general desires of the citizens. That it doesn't, if what I do personally, if what makes me feel good personally makes everybody else feel good, who cares if I'm a narcissist? But if you're a narcissist and it's counter to everybody else, I would say something like Kimmel or Colbert, whose political beliefs brought a showdown. That's narcissism.
Is it just me, or does the criticism aimed at Spencer Pratt sound very familiar? Is this not the same strategy the media used and still tries to use to this day against Donald Trump? They never want to talk about policy, but they love to launch personal attacks. Instead of focusing on what Pratt is saying, the media is more focused on labeling him a narcissist, questioning his intentions, and portraying him as unqualified before voters even have a chance to hear him out. They're already shaping the public's perception of a guy who only wants a better Los Angeles. And whether people support Pratt or not, shouldn't the voters at least be encouraged to evaluate his ideas for themselves instead of just going off what some failed comedian said? But then again, I guess that's the whole thing with the left. They love to project and accuse you of everything they're guilty of. If the city of Los Angeles is facing all of these serious problems, rather than attacking the person pointing them out just because he's not one of them. And I also find it ironic hearing Jimmy Kimmel lecture people about narcissism, especially since his career revolves around being in front of a camera. So doesn't accusing someone else of wanting attention seem a bit rich? And Jessica's argument about Spencer Pratt going on Fox raises another question. If Fox reaches millions of independents and Democrats, then why wouldn't Pratt want to speak to that audience? And let's just be honest here. There's no denying how much politics have changed over the last decade, especially with the internet. A candidate can reach millions of people throughout podcasts, interviews, social media, and long-form conversations. And if millions of people are tuning in, then why wouldn't Pratt go where he believes his audience actually is? And why would anyone want to spend weeks organizing a rally when voters can hear directly from you from the comfort of their homes? Maybe Jessica just doesn't realize that the old political playbook doesn't carry the same weight it used to. At least in my opinion. But I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.